The fantasy football busts of week 2. To start off, I want you all to know that Puka Nacua has almost as many points as all of you combined, and I'm still not convinced that Puka Nacua is a real person, so congratulations, you're being outscored by a ghost. Yeah, Puka's taken away points that should have been mine. Hey Cam, first thing, how can you call me a bust when I didn't even play? What the hell did you do to be declared a healthy inactive? I don't know. Cam, alright, I may have said something less than appropriate about Sean McVay's wife. What? What did you say? After last week, he told me I need to hit the hole harder, so I said, hey, I'll hit your wife's hole. Okay, nope, got it, understood. You should be banned from the league. Or traded to the Vikings, which is basically the same thing. We've already got a running back, we're all set. Oh, really? Who is it? Could you introduce me? I assume you're talking about a running back who's capable of rushing for more than 28 yards while mixing in a fumble on top of it. I'd love to meet him. You know, you Madisons have a lot in common. James Madison was the father of the Constitution, and you're the father of lack of contribution to our fantasy teams. You stink. Side note though, I did see those messages you got after that game, and PSA, don't be racist or genuinely threaten someone for their fantasy performance. Seriously, you if you do that. Playfully roasting guys is one thing, but don't be a psychopath. Alright, back to it. Jamar Chase, congratulations on your new title. New title? Yeah, decoy for T. Higgins. It's a very prestigious honor. I even made a name tag for the occasion. AJ Brown, you should change your last name to Blue because that's what happened to my balls every time you almost scored a touchdown. Didn't you tweet that? Sure did. Can't waste good content, not in this economy. Speaking of AJ's, AJ Dillon. I always wondered what AJ stood for. Glad to finally know that it stands for absolute joke. And another injury replacement, Josh Kelly. Look, we all knew you weren't Austin Eckler, but we were kinda hoping you weren't just Alexander Madison either. Leave me alone. Isaiah Pacheco, you weren't that bad and Clyde barely existed, but your team just doesn't run the ball. I'm willing to accept that this is just who you are as long as you accept this. Yeah, well, they have an extraterrestrial playing quarterback, so I can understand not wanting to run the ball. Not sure what our excuse is. Maybe that you're still recovering from a torn ACL and your other running back sucks? Nah, that can't be it. Truthfully, anyone that started you knowing you'd have a limited workload against one of the league's best defenses on a team led by Zach Wilson deserves what they got. That's fair. You also deserve what you got if you drafted the mascot of Bust Anonymous, Kyle Pitts. What's up? So, you know, this week was a lot better for the tight ends. Except George Kittle, who prefers to block and do cardio. If you want to just run around and don't care whether you have the ball while you do it, there are these things called treadmills. You should try one. Najee Harris, you suck. I really don't have much else to say. You're probably cooked unless you pull a Tanya Harding on Jalen Warren. Josh Jacobs, on the other hand, does not have any competition, so it's fascinating that he also sucks. -2 rushing yards. You know, it's funny. You would have had more yards this week if you just followed through on your holdout and didn't play. All right, does someone want to tell me why the entire Jacksonville Jaguars team is here? Your game was supposed to be the shootout of the week. What happened? I had the under. What was that? Nothing. I'm watching you. Anyway, staying in the AFC South, we've got Dameon Pierce. You know, despite the record, the Texans have looked promising so far. Except you. I applaud your commitment to making sure there's still a baseline level of suck on this team. And still in this division, D-Hop. You know, I'm starting to see why none of these other teams wanted you. Hey, other teams wanted you. Oh yeah, for sure. That's why you said you wanted to play with one of the league's best quarterbacks and ended up settling on Ryan Tannehill. You heard it, folks. Tannehill's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. D-Hop says so. Coulda came to Cleveland and caught some balls from me. I think enough people have caught balls from you, Deshaun. Makes sense that you're here, though. You love busting when you're not supposed to. I'm pretty sure you've made that joke before. Get a new one. Get a new reputation besides sexual deviant who sucks at football, and I'll consider it. By the way, it should have been you instead of Chubb. Yeah, I know.